to add to that, right, or to really take away from that, we could say the same thing about certain players back then that could not play today. They didn't have the skill set to play. Rodman would struggle in this era. He would have to look for his. He would have to pick his spots. He could
How
when you
see that makes no sense. If you could do it in that era, which was a harder era, how could you not do it in this era, which is an easier
well,
era?
because
The
you
only
and
difference now is more the talent is ramped up. But so are you giving? Hold up now. Let me ask you this: are you giving Rodman '90s ability or 2023 ability? Because if you give me Rodman with 2023 ability, I'll take fucking Rodman.
all I'm saying is is that if they're just like you're able to take somebody away from this era and plug them into an era that clearly they take away from their own skills. It's the same thing for players
The Hall
back
of Fame.
then. You can't just say somebody from back then could easily come in this era and dominate the same way. That's now we're being inconsistent.
Hold on. Tell me how Rodman wouldn't be good, but just tell me how Rodman wouldn't be good.
He would be great at one-on-one. He'd be great on defense, but then on offense, what would happen? You would have to turn to Draymond all of a sudden.
No. Hold on. You said hold on. He never had offense, so that shouldn't even be a question. So hold on. You said I forgot the word you used.
He wouldn't be the same.
That's his point.
Right. He said it wouldn't be good.
Yeah,
I didn't say it wouldn't be good. I said the same way. The same way you plucked out Joker and put him in an era where it goes against a lot of his skills. It's more physical, right? So now you're taking away a bunch of his shit, right? Same way you do that, you take out Rodman and now you put him in his own era. Now you put him in an era where you got to put the ball on the floor.
Rodman would have to be able to shoot and guard the perimeter more. He would have to have a jump shot and guard the perimeter more.
Right. So even someone like, let's say, Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney's a guy that gets all these offensive rebounds and everything, but he's not a super duper guy. Like that, Rodman that's a real specialist. You ain't gonna be Dennis. Like what Dennis Rodman was back then was top 20 player. Looney's not that.
Bruh, Mel, he would not have to do that because there's a cat doing it right now. His name is Draymond Green. Draymond don't do none of that shit. He can't guard the perimeter, and he damn sure can't shoot three.
So shit. He got defensive player of the year, bro. And he's
also talking about.
He's a great defensive player.
Hold on. Y'all saying
I'm not saying. Don't say y'all.
That's what you said. You said Dennis Rodman will. Hold on, no. You said Dennis Rodman will struggle today.
No, I didn't say that. I never said that.
He's gonna struggle to be. He's gonna struggle to be Rodman. Like you can't say he's gonna be the same guy from back then. They're not gonna alter their game or nothing. It's gonna pop on the court and still be. Hold up, bro. They're gonna just They're gonna pop up in 2023 and play the same kind of game from the 90s and 80s. That doesn't make sense. That goes against the strategizing on a game.
Hey, I'm gonna MJ thing on the big shooting guard. Fabian, just wait.
Go ahead, beloved.
I like to respond to this. Two things I like to say. Draymond Green is not Dennis Rodman due to the fact that when Draymond came in, he already could knock down that straightaway three, and when it was time for it, he knocked those shots down for Golden State. So he had some type of offensive weapon, and he could knock down the long three. That's number one. Number two is I never said Rodman wouldn't make it now. Rodman will be an anomaly. No one will work as hard. To me, it'll be easier for Rodman because ain't nobody working that hard 48 minutes a game trying to get 30, 40 rebounds. So I think Rodman will definitely make it. If I was a team, I wouldn't care if he couldn't shoot a free throw because I seen a guy that could score 28 and can't hit free throws still survive in the NBA. And Dwight Howard really didn't get a post game until maybe his fourth season. But don't say y'all. I think Rodman will get 30 rebounds with that motor with no offensive talent. People will still keep him in the game because that motor and the way the game is called now, he probably get 20 offensive rebounds in the first 10 minutes of the game because no one will be able to box him out.
I was surprised he went that route. You know what's funny about this? Bernardo and I were actually discussing this exact thing yesterday. He was saying about Rodman, so I want to hear what he says about him today.
Yeah, like Rodman's motor is incredible. Sorry, Bernardo. One more thing, real quick. Rodman motor is super incredible, and oh boy, I agree with you. I think Rodman will eat. Like if you have a Rodman right now, somebody had tried to do that game. I think he would be very successful in the NBA.
Can I ask you a question? I'm always the one that defends the older players, so I'm gonna give a little devil's advocate. Would you put? Because the thing is, the forward position in today's NBA, like you only really want one non-shooter on the court in like today's offenses.
Exactly.
Would you put Rodman?
I will put him. No, I will put him at. I still, all I would ask Rodman to do is this: keep rebounding. And I know Rodman's feet were fast enough to at least give a hedge on the pick and roll. Rodman's footwork was good enough to hedge on any four right now. He can hedge out on long fours. He can hedge out on KD enough to hold his own. Because that hedge right there is still not gonna give me that 30 rebounds. So you have to let him. But you have to let him.
Gary Payton II was able to be a successful offensive player in this league. Like if he was able to contribute offensively just out of smarts and cutting and athleticism, I think Rodman could have done it. And my point about Rodman is his defense today might be even more valuable than it was in the 90s because of his ability to cover ground, to switch everything, to guard every position, to his ability. One thing that I was talking about with Dime yesterday, Rodman's athleticism would make his ability to cut passing lanes, cut driving lanes, and then sprint to contest trees in a rates that nobody in the league can do, maybe outside of Draymond.
So I don't. You can't have four Rodmans on the court nowadays. You won't be able to score. If you have that one and you build that team around that, he could definitely survive on the NBA.
If you have, for example, if you have Rodman in the place of Rudy Gobert today in the Minnesota Timberwolves with a stretch five Towns,
that would be fine. I completely agree with you.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, and even if you had Rodman in Adam Gordon's place in the Nuggets today, I think he would make that team better
100%.
With a guy that can pass and stretch. So obviously you would have to make adjustments if your team you can't play Rodman at the 3 or Rodman at the 4 with a lumbering center while he can shoot. Or for example, Rodman in Golden State would be a fucking menace.
What about Rodman on the Clippers instead of Marcus Morris? We start Rodman and Zubats. Do you think that's not enough? That we don't have two. We have two non-jump shooters on there.
Yeah, so I agree. You need either a lot of shooting in the perimeter or a stretch five. You can have if you have one of those two things, Rodman would be a menace. Rodman would be amazing in any team.
Hey, let me ask y'all something. I got a question for all y'all. I'm gonna take another player. I'm just gonna pluck this dude. And Fab, to your thing earlier. If I'm putting Rodman in 2023, I'm giving them everything that these cats have now: the fitness, the training, the everything, all the science.
He's gonna get injured more if he gets the training of today. He's gonna get injured more.
But he's the type. The Rodman was ahead of his time with getting
exactly.
He led this era.
He'll be enhanced Rodman. But I'm gonna take somebody else. And y'all, let's see. Y'all motherfuckers who really know 90s ball, and this ain't no slight on nobody, but I'm gonna put Buck Williams in 2023, and I'm gonna see what the fuck these cats can do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because Buck Williams,
hold on. Let me tell you something about Buck Williams.
I think he would red shot.
Buck Williams. You know what Buck Williams is now? Buck Williams will be maybe what?
Ooh, I don't know.
His feet are not fast enough to guard. He can't guard the pick and roll. He can make that 14-footer on the offensive end for you, and he can rebound, but he's not rebounding at a rate that I'm giving up that much offense and defense for. So I'm not giving that much up for Buck Williams. Not at the rate of Rodman. Not at the rate that Rodman. Not the rate that Rodman was doing it. And Buck Williams can hit the 14-foot shot, but he can't guard that pick and roll, bro. He'll go right by Buck Williams.
Right, but hold on, y'all. Y'all both made great points, right? But let me just say this. These players, to me, I think Dennis Rodman can play on any team, but like a Buck Williams, it depends on where he plays. Like right now, Miami, he could use a Buck Williams. Look how they get out rebound. Look how they get out muscle. So to me, it depends on the team. The team, like a Horace Grant right now. Players like that, where like I said, they legit 6'10", but they gonna bang.
Say word.
All ball. Hold on, OG. Yeah. Horace Grant ran the floor. Horace Grant could knock down the 14-footer.
But
there's a difference. Don't limit his offensive game.
Hold on.
Wait. All ball. Don't diminish Horace Grant game. He can knock down the 14-footer consistently with the best of them, and he can run the floor.
No, but love it. What I'm trying to say is because like Bernardo, guys like Mel, even Dom, they all smart. But remember, these are guys that they may not know too much about. So I'm just saying these are guys that off the rip, if you drop their name, some guys may laugh at us. So I'm just saying with the Buck Williams, that was a great point. But to play devil's advocate with Buck Williams, it may depend on what team he's playing on. Because look at a guy like Al Horford. He's small, but he stretches the floor like a mug. And he can knock down that three, and he's great defensively. So I think a lot of players back in the day can play today. It's just that their impact won't maybe be as great. But depending on the team, like right now, a Buck Williams on a Miami where Bam can get a little help down on the block, I think would be great. But I'm gonna just be honest. Joker may run circles around all the mugs. I'm just being real.
I like Dennis Rodman to change the complexion. Guard a big man, 94 feet, be physical with him. I think he'll give Joker. He might. I don't say Joker's unstoppable, but he could change the series guarding Joker like he did Carl Malone.
Yes,
sure.
He would, but I just think that Rodman. All I meant by that was that skill set. They strategize every game for someone like that. They will leave you wide open.
Yes,
they will leave you wide. So all I'm saying is that in this, especially in this era, back then you could really hide them, but in this era you can't really hide like that on offense. So that is. You have to factor that in.
I agree with you, Fabian. But Fabian, I agree with you. This is what I'm saying.
Everything else,
Rodman is an anomaly. You know why?
Rodman is a genius. He's a genius at defense. Everything. I'm not exactly. So Mel just touched on it. To go from be able to, he really guarded 1 through 5.
Yeah, but
that's my thing.
If you're naming a regular rebounder from that era, I agree with you. That can score. Rodman with them. I'm just factoring motor and speed and size and strength. He may get 30 rebounds in a game.
I compared him to Looney. Looney's going to grab these rebounds and everything. Yes, but they can strategize against that shit. Like we can't. He's not. And my comparison really was just you can plug whatever player you want from any era and change their errors. Their game has to change. And
but you know what?
There's very few of them where their whole game is going to completely be impactful the entire time. Jordan is one of them.
I'll tell you what. Looney is a great comparison, but that's why I think Rodman would have been better. Like would have been great in this era because of a guy like Looney. Because Looney isn't a great perimeter defender. He isn't a great rim protector. He isn't a great finisher.
He isn't a great athlete.
Like he went from grabbing 20 rebounds to not getting no burn as a strategy.
But Mel, let me tell y'all what Dennis Rodman would do for a team like a Golden State or just a good team. Like Dennis, just imagine Dennis Rodman on Denver, right? Remember, he don't want the ball. Now, if you're a star player, you have a guy that you ain't got to worry about defensively, rebounding, effort. Like, remember, he's going to be in talks for Defensive Player of the Year every year. He's going to make first team all defenses all the time. He's going to lead the league in rebounding literally every year. But Fabe, I do agree with what you were saying, how you can game plan against it. But I think Rodman on certain teams, it'll be like cheating because his mind and his feel for the game. Have you ever seen how he broke down like rebounded? So
the way the way that Isaiah Thomas or somebody said when you shoot the ball spins 30 times. When he shoots,
it was Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas interview.
Nah, that's why I say he's a basketball genius. But people are gonna have to alter their game. Like I'm a fan of the same way, and Beloved knows he hates when I say this. If you put Steph Curry, all these guys back in the day, they got to alter their game. So no way we can say Jordan or any one of these guys ain't gonna have to alter their game, and it might be different, and that alters who you are. It just does. So to say that about that, it won't happen for Rodman to me. That's when we gotta get disingenuous, as my boy Fleet would say. Shout out to